When I think about trust, specifically trusting God, I think most of the time we think about it passively. Trust is sitting back and letting God work. It's just believing Him and being very passive about how we believe Him. Now, sometimes I'll talk about the idea that trusting God also sometimes frequently means doing our part, stepping in and being actively as we trust God. But have you ever heard of aggressively trusting God? Trusting God with aggression? It actually happens. In Isaiah chapter 37, Hezekiah is the king, and the bad guys have got his town surrounded, and they've threatened him, and they said they're going to kill him and kill all the people, and it's really, really bad. And they sent him a letter. They actually wrote it down, sent him a letter, the enemy did, that said, here's what we're going to do to you. And in that letter, they actually say, we know your God can't help. And in chapter 37 of Isaiah, verse 14, it says this, Hezekiah received the letter from the messengers and read it. Then he went up to the temple of the Lord and spread it out before the Lord. He took that letter and he said, God, did you see this? Did you see what they just said about you? Did you see what they believe about you? What are you going to do about it? He does it. That's what Hezekiah does. And Isaiah commends him for it, and God acts. See, sometimes, a lot of times, I think the passive trust is the right thing. I think active trust, where we put our part, do our part to help God answer our own prayer. I think that's a really big deal. But sometimes when the threat is real, and the threat is tangible, and the need is real, and our fear is great, sometimes it doesn't hurt to aggressively trust God. To say, God, I believe you so much that I can lay this in front of you and I can challenge you with it. Because I know that you act when you need to and that you protect your name. So God, right now, I am asking you to protect your name and to act for your glory. I don't know if there's anything in your life right now that fits that category, but if there is, don't be afraid to come right before God. Come boldly into the throne of grace and lay it before Him and say, God, did you see this? And that's today's Jumpstart. Man, jump on too fast. 2, I didn't change shirts.